Hey everybody, it's Matt Michaels here on the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, and today I have DJ Impact. And DJ, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you take the lead here and introduce today's very special guest.
And listen, I'm so excited of our guest here. We actually met him, Matt Michaels, just for a little bit.
Sorry. Hold
on. Happy birthday sign, huh? Whose birthday is it? Kind of reminds me of my wife. When there was a birthday, the party stuff just stays up for probably 2 to 3 weeks. So at any point you can walk in the house, it gets a birthday. Like, no, we celebrated that a month ago.
So to go play, so of course she grabbed the 2 loudest toys that she owns. Sit down. I'm like, they're not gonna be able to hear with all that going on. Sorry. One more time.
All right. Hey, Matt Michaels here, everybody, on the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. And DJ Impact's with me here. And DJ, I'm going to let you introduce our special guest today.
So look, I'm excited because we got a chance, Matt Michael, to meet our guest just for a little bit back when ROH was here at Sam's Town. And we got a chance to rap with him just a little bit. And I knew from that moment, we had to get him onto the show. And I'm happy that he's here with us right now. Folks, listen, he is the baddest of all time. And he is the CEO of Shane Taylor Promotion, by the way, which is the first African-American wrestlers winning the World Six-Man Tag Team titles. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Taylor is with us, man. What's up, man?
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for having me. Hell of an intro. I always tell these people, man, if your intro is trash, we're already off on the wrong foot. And you nailed it. Great job. Side note, we are the first all African-American team to win those titles. The Tate twins, the boys, were the very first with Dalton Castle, were the very first African-American males to hold the titles, period. But as a unit, we are the first to be the all African-American team. Had to shout them out. And give them the respect that they deserve. But yes.
Man, that how was it, man? I'll talk a little bit about how much I love ROH and seeing you guys back on TV. But how was that experience for you because I saw it and I literally was just in shock as well. Like, my God, they did it. And when I see the expressions that I see with you and Soldiers of Savagery is having, I'm having that same experience. But how was it for you when you had it?
I think for me, especially because I had the TV title run, it's always exciting when you win a championship, right? But this is what I prepare for, right? This is meant, like, it's not surprising to me because I expect to win. You know what I mean? I expect to be a champion. I expect to be the top guy. I expect to go out there and dominate. I expect all of us to go out there and do it. What made me truly excited and what made me so happy is to help them win their first championship. The looks on their faces, how excited and happy that they were to see their journey from start up until now. And this is just the beginning, right? On the legacy that they're going to build, for them to taste that first taste of championship gold in ROH. They're immortalized now, right? They are forever in the history books. Nobody can take that from them. And we wanted to do it this way, right? Because now there is no asterisk next to their accomplishment. No one can say, well, you didn't really beat the team that was the champ, so da-da-da. You know how people love to talk. There's none of that. There's none of that. We go out there, we do exactly what we said that we were going to do, and we did it the way that it needed to be done. So hats off to them, their growth, their potential is absolutely unmatched.
I mean, they've only been with ROH for like a year and a half, right? I think 2019.
I mean,
that's
they were in the
amazing.
dojo for a bit. You know what I mean? Kind of just
Yeah.
waiting, holding. And I'm like, yo, there is too much potential here, too much talent here, just waiting.
Yeah.
Right. Same with guys like O'Shea Edwards, right? There's just too much, too much talent there just to be waiting. So I was like, you know what? Called Ron. I was like, hey, make this happen, man. You know, he was like, are you sure? I was like, 100%. He was like, all right. You know, and in Columbus, we saw the start of it. And look where we are a year later.
Yeah.
You know, what's really quick, DJ, what's what's interesting to me, Shane, is that perspective of not only that, you know, you guys have the titles now, but also I just want listeners and viewers to know that Saturday the 27th could be a very big day, because Mr. Roosh is going to be met by Mr. Taylor, and
right.
Man, I really would want to see you as champion for one real good reason, and that is, brother, you've come a long fucking way. You have worked your ass off, man, and it's I'm serious, man. Now we're friends with Jeff Cobb, and when you started working with Cobb, like, you could see this spark. You could see that your passion was now showing for, you know, not only were you having fun, but you were, I mean, you were fucking aggressive and having a good time.
Right.
And I really, you know, I know wrestling is a very, you know, strange business in terms of, you know, who gets what, when, and where.
Right.
But man, I just, you know, from the earliest times I've seen you, you know, going back to your matches when you were really just kind of starting out, when you're green, I always saw something in you, and I wanted you to be champion. What is it that you find that keeps your motivation? Is it, you know, being a father? Is it being a groundbreaker in the business? What is it that motivates you to go out there and show that, man, when I do this, I'm as good as anybody else in this business?
I think it's a combination of everything, right? Like, you're talking to a guy who comes from the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. I should have been a statistic, right? I should have been nothing. I should have been nobody, right? I've had, you know, some of the closest people to me sacrifice their lives for me in order for me to be in this spot. So I can't give it anything other than my very best, right? That right before the Cobb matches, there was a match that I had with Hangman Page, right? And that was really the sort of turning point, right? Because at that point, it was like, I know I'm putting in the work, right? And coming from a sports background, right, I am used to, you put in the work, you show the effort, you prove you're better, you start, you play, right? Professional wrestling's not like that. You know what I mean? And that's something that I've always sort of mentally struggled with, is the hardest worker doesn't always get the reward, right? That's not how this goes, right? There's a lot of clickiness, there's a lot of other bullshit. But so for me, that really started to get me going, right? And one of the worst things you can do, if you want me to fail, is give me a reason to be fucking pissed. Give me a reason to be motivated, right? Like, I love it. Ray Rowe will tell you, Keith Lee will tell you, they'll go, I don't know why, but Shane is better when he's chasing something. Shane is better when he's pissed. Shane is better when he's got opposition. If there's a clear path, he doesn't want to walk down it. I don't know why that is, but when there's obstacles, that's when he's at his best. And I think that was just such an obstacle that it was like, okay, fuck with me if you want to. You know what I'm saying? And And then when I went into that match with Cobb, and he'll tell you, I went up to him and I was like, yo, I don't know what you want to do today, but I got a fucking mission to prove. You know what I mean? Like I got something to prove. And he was like, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. And so we go out there and we did it. And then the craziest thing, because it's like all of that all hit around the same time, right? So you have the Hangman Page match. That's everyone's like, oh, okay, that was great. Yeah. But they're not really feeling it yet. You know what I'm saying? It's all him. Then the first Cobb match happens. They're like, oh, all right. Then what happens is I go to the UK for like 6 weeks, right? Come back, and there's the second match. If I'm timing that right, if the timeline of that is right, that's how it went. But I go to the UK for 6 weeks, kill it over there, and then come back, and I think we do the second one, right? We do me versus Cobb 2 in Vegas, and that match is my first ever singles match on pay-per-view, and I had been with ROH for like 3 or 4 years at that point.
Right, yeah.
Right? So then it's like, then it felt like, oh, you talking all that shit? Let's see you do it again. Now that we're watching you, do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay. This isn't a fluke. You know what I mean? This is what I do. Like, okay. You know? So we go out there, steal the show at the pay-per-view. And then it's like, I've been telling you I could do this. Right? And in my mind, where I'm from, if there's money on the table and you're not grabbing it, that's your fault.
Right.
It's not the money's fault. You know what I mean? The money is there to be taken. Right? So, yeah, man, like once, so that spark that you talked about, that's what that is. Like that is that all of that doubt, all of that, you know, he doesn't check all the boxes, all that we've got our favorite guys here, all that we want this, we want these guys to be successful here. I'm not here for that, right? When I was playing football as a freshman, I didn't care if you were a senior. Move, you're in my spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I just treat this the same way.
You know, that's the type of attitude that that all of these talents should have. And we would see that in the ring. I think sometimes that's why when you watch different promotions, you get annoyed because you don't see that passion. It just seems like they're just coming in there to make a paycheck sometimes, you know, and it's like, where's your passion coming into this particular match? And you give that 100% all the time that you're in there. So I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Listen, we're celebrating here Black History Month, and with Vegas Bad Boy, we're celebrating it this week, and I'm happy that you're here on this show with us. When we found out we was getting you, it was like perfect. You're having a big match again. We're talking about for the Ring of Honor World Championship title. This is really important, not only for you, but if you can only imagine how important it could be for the culture. Right. I'm sitting up here, and we don't get to see a lot of these matches. It's becoming a little bit more last couple of years. We beginning to see a little bit. You know, for the longest, my only Black champion, man, was Jay Lethal for the longest. I'm being real with you. Right. You know, and I would walk around, Matt. No, I would go to any wrestling show with my Jay Lethal shirt on, because to me that was my champion at the time. Right. Right now, man, this is your time for you to be in that spot where now Shane Taylor is my champion. How important of a match is this to you? As you know, you're going to be performing, not only is big for you, but for the culture. Many of us watching this saying, man, he's got to pull this off.
Right. I mean, that's forefront in my mind, right? And I didn't realize how important it was until I started to get a little older and started to understand the world a bit more and started to see some of the things that are going on, not only in the sport, but in the country, right? In society. And then it started to click for me, you know what I mean? Just about the magnitude, right, and then the
Mm-hmm.
severity of what I do, the platform that I have, the small voice that I may carry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once I started to put all of that together and kind of tie that into who I am, it really started to um, put emphasis on the fact that things need to change, right?
Right.
And for me, there and I spoke about this with ROH when they had to sit down for me. Like,
Mm.
I have been told by so many people, either stars that didn't come to Ring of Honor or stars that left Ring of Honor. These are all black wrestlers, managers, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
That there was never going to be anybody else other than Jay Lethal.
Mm.
And Jay Lethal is a legend. He's someone who takes the time to, teach me a lot of things that he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? So
Right.
this is nothing with him, right? This is just a system that is
Right.
in place. This is what they told me, that it was never going to happen. You add to the fact that I'm as opinionated as I am. I'm as loud and as boisterous as, some would say, combative as I am, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They were like, it is never going to happen for you. Never, right? And a lot of them either didn't come to ROH because they thought that ceiling was there, or they left because they thought that ceiling was there. And they were like, yo, you're wasting your time there. You know what I mean? You need to leave. And the conversation would always come back to, well, if I leave, who changes it?
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I want to help my city, I can't leave the city to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got to stay here. I've got to go through it, and I've got to fight. The only way to change this is to do it from right here, right? CM Punk had a great thing on his documentary that was like, I can't change this company sitting on my couch in Chicago, right? It's the same thing. I can't change this place if I'm not here. And so that's been the mission, right? With every match, with every promo, with everything that I do, all of the intent, all of the emphasis is to change the way that things are run, to change the status quo, to show the world that I don't care if you want me to be this nice, clean-cut dude. I'm a kid from the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. This is who I am.
Right.
Listen to what I say, watch what I do. I don't care if you like it, but I'm telling you the truth. You know what I mean? And you can either deal with that and be mad, or you can see it for what it is and accept it. But either way, I'm getting what I'm supposed to get.
Yeah. Along those lines of being, starting to be a trailblazer in ROH, what does it mean to you? You're obviously you're a father of some, younger kids, and you have the opportunity to show younger kids who watch Ring of Honor that it can be done. Someone like me, can do this. How important is it for you that the kids, especially kids who don't think that, because of situation that they're in their home or school or whatever, that they just don't think that they can do something special, and then see a guy like you and go, oh my God, that's what I want to do. How does that make you feel in terms of that, carrying that?
Man, that's a heavy weight, but it's one that I carry with pride because I was that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, the quote that sits with me the most is, it's easier to teach children than it is to heal broken men, right? And for a lot of my peers, for a lot of the older generation, a lot of them are so beat down by life, and understandably so. right? That they've forgotten to be inspired, that they've lost the understanding and the knowledge of the power that they hold. So for me, while I'm trying to show the light to them, I also understand that the next generation behind me is watching me right now, right?
Right.
So I want to be for them what Ron Simmons was for me, right? I want to be for them the guy that didn't compromise his character, that didn't play up, the worst aspects of our culture to get a check, that didn't do a lot of the things that sort of stereotype them and put them even further behind the 8 ball. I want them to be able to look at me and go, hey, he ain't, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's not the fastest, he's not the most cut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this dude is going out there and putting his heart on the line every single time, standing on his own 2 feet, success or fail, he's doing it the way he should, right? And I
Yeah.
always tell people, my goal isn't to be the best or to be the greatest, right? Because all of those are subjective terms. If you don't like my style, I'll never be your best. I'll never be your greatest, right? But the ability and the willingness to go further and farther than anybody else, the willingness to do what other people won't do, to be successful, to undertake all the pressures that comes with being a leader, right? I am willing to do that every single day and twice on Sunday. That's why I say I'm the baddest of all time. I don't wake up every morning trying to be the greatest. I wake up every morning determined to be the baddest.
Well, with that in mind, in terms of influences, you just brought up Ron Simmons. Is there other people that you looked at for inspiration and as role models when you were growing up? Because I know, I grew up in Chicago, and I know what you're talking about in terms of, you're not supposed to get out of the city. So who inspired you? Like, what figures inspired you to succeed and grow?
Man, like a lot of them come because we're huge boxing fans in our family. Like,
Yeah.
of course, like with the wrestling, right? You had Vader, you had your Stan Hansons, and a lot of my style is from them too, because it's like, yo, I'm never gonna be this dude with the washboard abs and putting oil on myself and shit like that, right? That's never gonna be me, right? So my thing was, oh, all right, you got big dudes who just beating the shit out of people. Yeah, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Word. So that's sort of the style that I bring in. You add some stuff here and there, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I thought. But for me, the people that inspired me were guys like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? Guy Roy Jones, guys that studying boxing as long as I have, understanding the art, understanding the dedication, it put into my mind like, this is the kind of work you're going to have to put in to be successful. And I think that's something that lesson is lost, right?
Yeah.
Especially amongst the youth of our culture, with so many things feeling like a get rich quick scheme, whether it be YouTube or being a rapper or whatever it is. And this is not saying you don't have to hustle to do those things, because you absolutely do. That's just not the message that is taught. Everybody feels like, oh, all I got to do is make a viral thing and I'm good, right? They don't understand the work and the grind that goes into setting that foundation up, right? Everybody wants to hit that game winning shot. They don't understand you did that same shot 10,000 times in the gym.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like people be like, well, I want to be the next Wayne. Cool. You know, Wayne went to art school. Like, like he's not dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 2 Chainz has like a master's degree. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, these,
it's true.
Like, it's not, they're not dumb individuals. They didn't get lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is work that you have to put in. And so I think one of the messages that I want to send too is like, look, this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be quick. This is not going to be fun at all times, right? This is going to be the grind. This is going to be the hustle. This is going to be you busting your ass even when everybody else around you thinks you're wasting your time. This is seeing all that, doing all of that, and persevering still to get to where you want to be. That's what this is. That's what my journey is. And I am nobody special, right? I am a kid from the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. That is all I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I can do this, you can do this. There's nothing intrinsically different about me than there is you.
Yeah.
What made you choose wrestling instead of pursuing football, taking it to the NFL? Because you definitely have the drive to want to take it there, or even boxing. I mean, you familiar with that? You talk about your love with that. Why wrestling instead of these other sports?
I did football in high school and a little bit of college. And I liked football, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't love football. And I played a lot of spots, and I was a long snapper as well. So like I could have gotten to the NFL for doing that. I had great long snapper. But that just wasn't where my passion was, right?
Gotcha.
And with boxing, I didn't go into boxing because when you compete, you have to register your hands. And I got in far too many fights to do that. So like my thing was I want to train, right? I don't care about the competition. I need to make sure I can protect myself and my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that was for me. And I was like, if I go into it and compete, something happens on the street, I go to jail. I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? To help them, right? So played football, wrestled, right? And then once I left college, it was like, okay, I can get this 9 to 5, which won't fit for me, or I can do this. So that was the plan.
Yeah.
Did you, in getting into the ring, and I know a lot of times when people who want to start training get into the gym for the first time, wherever it is that they're training, they don't really understand the fact that there is a lot of cardio and drills that go on before you start learning the bumps and the psychology and everything that goes into being a pro wrestler. For you, having the athletic experience, was it easier for you to get in and use that background so that it didn't drive you away? Because I know when I was training in the early 2000s, one of the things I noticed is that guys just they just peel out, man, and they're just like, they never expected it to be something they had to work to do. And
this is a hard hustle, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people will tell you like it's all of the again, but it goes back to that mentality. Like everybody sees the matches, everybody wants the mania moments, everybody wants these, that moment to shine. But what they don't see is all the work you got to do in the dark. You know what I'm saying? For that light to shine, you got to do 1,000 times more work in the dark, right? And everybody's not built for that life, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not built for that. And if you think about it, as wrestlers, right, we're all probably just functional maniacs. You know what I'm saying? Like to put our bodies through what we do, to know like, yo, this is shortening your life, this is shortening your career, this is, you know what I mean? Like everything we do, is it's like it's an hourglass, right? Everything you do, just a little more sand comes out that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is what we love to do. This is our passion. You know what I mean? We love to make those moments for people that can live forever, right? Inspire people to be better than they thought they could be, right? Look again, we can go back to Ron. How many people, including myself, right, did he inspire? of every background. This man has changed millions of lives simply by doing what we do. You know, so understanding that, man, like if you're willing to put in the work, that's what drives me. I can't speak for anybody else, but what drives me is knowing I'm in a position to help change lives going forward.
You know, being a dad, having daughters, are you stuck in Frozen mode, Frozen 2, or have you been lucky enough to see like something like Soul recently? What's on the loop?
Listen, okay, so my oldest is 6, right? And for the longest time, it was Frozen everything, right? It was 1 and 2. It was everything was Elsa, Anna, Olaf. Elsa, Anna, Olaf, right?
Right.
It was like, yo, I could quote this movie in my sleep if you ask me, right? Um, and then it was Moana for a bit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It was like, all right, it's a break. Okay. Then it went back to Frozen. I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But it's not too bad now. She's starting to get into other things, but usually like when it's like toy based or costume based, it always kind of tends to go back to Frozen. You know what I mean? But right now it's not so bad. I haven't gotten to see Soul yet, and I heard it was really good. There's a few movies that I'm like, damn, I got to see those, like Judas and the Black Messiah. I
You
want
got
to
to see that. Yep.
One Night in Miami. I want to check out. So there's a lot of stuff that I got to get on.
Absolutely. Well, all the promotions back in the COVID was getting started was continuing to figure out how for them to get going. Slowly, you know, other promotions begin to jump on, and I'm looking at, you know, where's my ROH? I need my fix because I love the talent that's going over there. But I was reading, and it was saying that their goal was protecting their talent instead of going out there doing shows and endangering one's life. How do you feel at, you know, working for an organization that value you guys that much, still taking care of you, you know, and, you know, get to the point that right now, I mean, you guys, I mean, it looked like the wait was worth it because it looks great on television. You're in Baltimore, the setup is great. But I mean, how much do you value just the company that they put into you guys to just kind of wait until we figure this out instead of just jumping right into it like everyone else?
Right. I mean, and that's for the longest time, it seemed like the trendy thing to do was shit on ROH, right? But if anybody's been watching, not even just since we've came back, but even before, as far as quality product goes, as far as show quality goes, ain't nobody beating us. Ain't nobody topping them, right? So to get to a point to where with so much still being unknown at that time, and even still, right, about what was going to happen with all of this stuff, to have them put people over profit is something that is rare in this sport, right? And you have to give your hats off to them for doing that, because they were like, you know what, cool, till we figure all this out, the last thing anybody's gonna have to worry about is their check, right? Like, it's not your fault you're not performing, right? This is a situation that's out of your control, out of our control, so there'd be no need to, you know, punish the performers because we didn't choose to not perform, right? This is just something that's going on. So hats off to them for that, right? Because they didn't have to do that, right? Every company didn't do that, right? So I mean, that for us, and again, I can only speak for me, right? But I know coming back that it was like, you know what, I want to make that that sacrifice and that investment worth it for them, right? I want to make sure that they understand that it was appreciated, and to give, you know, and to give 100% of who I am to this. And I think everybody subconsciously was probably on that same page. And since we've come back, I don't think there's anybody better than us. I really don't. And that's when, and that's why I said in other interviews, when people are like, hey, now that these doors are being crossed, do you want to da-da-da-da-da? And I was like, no, we good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we good over here.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that, like, if it made business sense and actually helped ROH, that people wouldn't be open to it. But it's like, if you look at it historically, these partnerships haven't helped ROH. They've helped other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, other people have come in, springboarded, and used our ROH, right? And used the platform.
Yep.
To do their own thing, or to grow their own stars, or how, whatever it is, right? And that's all well and good. But what does Ring of Honor get out of that? And that's been my mindset for years, is like, how does this help? Right.
I agree with that.
For me, it's like, we're building something now that is growing and is so organic, and people are starting to jump on the bandwagon once again. And we've got so many overseas talent that can't even get here yet. Right. So we've got other talent coming that's already homegrown. So in my opinion, I'm like, we don't need to partner with anybody else. We don't need to do anything else. Like, let us be single for a while. You know what I'm saying? Let us do us. You know what I'm saying? Let us do our thing and watch what we do.
I mean, 1 hour of television is just, you just don't know how great it is to know I don't have to invest most of my day sitting there watching. I get my fix. It's the greatest 15, 20 matches. I got the storyline. I have I'm looking at a great facility where, you got signages on both sides. You got LEDs in front. It's a beautiful setup. I mean, it's one of those things where I get my quick fix and I'm happy about it. I mean, what you guys, with the setup that is in right now, it is perfect. So I know exactly what you mean by saying this right now. You say one of the best. I would agree. When we have our shows, we have our wrestling talk. I always probably go a little bit longer than Matt Michaels but I always go a little bit more, just talking about, let me tell you what happened on this show this week, because it's just always great, and with the pure titles and matches and just everything that just happens, man. It's just awesome. And I'm just happy to see you guys up and doing your thing, and even more ecstatic seeing where you at right now, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's like, and I know a lot of people like, man, it's got to be longer than an hour. It's got to be this. And I was like, I kind of like where it's at right now, because you're always wanting more of it, right? You know what I mean? So like that's a good spot to be in, right? And it keeps things fresh. It keeps things new. I mean, because 2-3 hours, it's a long, you know what I mean? It starts to be long. People's attention spans now aren't that long. So I feel like we're exactly where we need to be.
Hey, as we get to start wrapping up, Shane, let me ask you this. I've been physical throughout my life. I've trained in wrestling, did mat wrestling, and now was at recently my highest weight that I had been at, which was a couple of years ago. I maxed out at 460 pounds. I've lost almost about 100 of that. My question for you, and obviously you've done well in, really making your physique solid. Is there any kind of music that motivates you? Any songs you can suggest so I could kind of throw it on my playlist to pump me up and keep me motivated, man?
Oh, okay. There are basically anything by DMX. Add all of that, right? What? Add his whole catalog. Right. I mean, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, growing up, like, this quick side story, right? So my dad, right, huge DMX fan, and DMX is what he would put on for me to sort of get me mentally ready to go when I was playing sports as a kid. Now as a grown man, I'm like, Dad, I probably shouldn't have been listening to DMX. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I get it, right? Because for me, he knew his son and he knew where I needed to be mentally in order to bring that out of me, right? Because, I'm a big brother. So I was always taught to kind of be less aggressive, right? Because you're the oldest, you're bigger, stronger, right? So to kind of get through that, this is what he would do. And so that's been something that sat with me forever. I will preach DMX is my top three, if not my GOAT, until my last breath, right?
Yeah.
So anything with him, KRS is good. KRS One. There's Nipsey Hussle. Just about everything he's ever done is super dope. Then there's some select songs like Jay-Z, Bam is great. A lot of his catalog is great too, especially his newer stuff as he's gotten older and become a father and a businessman of the highest caliber, right? Guys like that. And also, if you really want to get into it, my newest theme song, right? Because the old one was called "Different" by Montez Moore. Get that one too. But my newest one by Michael Tarver is called "Lion in the Jungle." And when you listen to that, you'll understand exactly why, that's so motivating. And I feel like it fits me to a T perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you said DMX, because for me, DMX is on my rotation. So is oh God, Ja Rule. I know some people are like, what the fuck? But
Hey,
there's
Ja was putting out bangers for a while.
yeah, man. Yeah. So, and that's the other thing too. I think I find it's interesting that you said your dad played you DMX. When I think of Ja Rule, that was my motivation when I was at my peak, when I was training in wrestling, when I was in the best physical condition. That's what I was listening to. And it's weird how that kind of, psychology, when you listen to something that you've been already in a position that gets you pumped up and gets you focused, any point in your life, you can go back and put that on and go like, oh yeah, that's what it felt like. It's almost like osmosis. And it's like so exciting to get you, to motivate you and, get off your ass is my big thing. Got to get off your ass. With that being said, and we got a little into music. My final question, DJ, if you have a wrap up, you can ask. But my final question is this: being from Cleveland, are you a Cleveland Browns guy, or now that you reside in Texas, please don't say you're a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Listen, man, this interview has been going great, but don't ever hint to the fact or even suggest, right, that I would switch it up from my city, right? Don't even put that in your mind, right? When you're from Cleveland, right, there's a saying, you're either from Cleveland or you're not, right? And we take that serious, right? It is Cleveland everything until I am no longer here, right? I don't care where I'm at. I don't care where I moved to. Cleveland is my city. It's the Browns, it's the Tribe, it's the Cavs, it's Gladiators, it's Cleveland State. It is, it was the Crunch when we had them. It was the Lumberjacks when we had them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is Cleveland everything.
Thank God you said that, because I just couldn't. You know what? Being from Chicago,
Houston, right? So I live in Houston now, right?
Oh,
okay. And people from Houston can get mad if you want to, but Houston is the most bandwagon city when it comes to sports that I've ever seen, right? Because it is like, bro, it is so hot and so cold here. I don't understand it because as a Cleveland fan, I'm used to things not going our way, right? But I remember there was so I went to this bar to watch the Rockets game a few years ago, and they were down to the Blazers like, I don't know, like 2-0 or something like that in this series, or like 3-1 or something like that. And they won a game. Now, before that, there was nobody in this bar, right? Nobody. People were, oh, they suck. Oh, they're trash. Da, 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 da.
Right.
Kind of made it close again. That bar was packed. Everybody had hardened beards, rocket jerseys. I'm like, this 2 days ago. Where was this? Where was this energy? You know what I mean? And then they lose, and immediately it was, they suck. They just need to trade them. This team is trash. I'm like, bro, I can't do it with y'all, bro. I can't do it.
Man, was you affected by this storm that just took place?
A little
majorly
bit.
affected?
We
Okay.
lost. Hold on, real quick. I'll answer that. She got in her toy again.
Not a problem. See, Matt, we got to get you some kids, man, and you'll be able to relate to this.
No. No.
Come on, man.
Go.
I respect it. I respect all that you do as a father. I respect all that Shane does as a dad. I respect everyone as dads. I respect everyone as mothers. I personally am not no. You guys can do.
Over here like just turning on the toys, standing on it, like, what are you doing? You know better. But she knows that I'm doing this, so she's like testing boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure, that's what they do.
Can you repeat that question, please? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. So I was just wondering how affected you were by this past storm that took place in Texas. Were you affected by it in any way?
A little bit. We lost power a couple times, but thankfully, there's no water loss, no pipes burst for us. A few of our neighbors did, so we've been trying to help each other.
Gotcha.
But for us, we were very blessed. So my heart and prayers go out to everybody who was affected. And for me, what's upsetting the most is the just lack of leadership that Texas seems to have, right? And I'm not going to get into a political thing here, but it's like, you've had snow here before, right? It's happened. Where I'm from, we deal with snow all the time. And I understand like houses aren't built for it, but there should be some worst case scenario plan in place.
Right.
For something like this. Like you saw the same weather reports everybody else did.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Dallas gets snow like not regularly, but I mean to the point that they probably have some preparedness, right? So for me, it's like as a city, as a state, why would you not be like, hey, you know what? Let's ask some of the places near us, hey, do you have extra salt? Do you have some trucks? Do you have whatever?
Right. Yeah.
Right? To make sure we lessen the damage for our residents, right? But instead of doing that, you just let it happen. You do nothing. And then, you just go on vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not leadership, bro. Like, say whatever you want, make whatever excuses you want. Like, that's not leadership. If you're the leader, your people should be looking at you right in the foxhole with them. They should be looking to their left or right and seeing you right there doing the same work that they're doing. That's what a leader is. So maybe it's time to just get new leadership.
I hear that.
Well, did I just hear Shane Taylor for Houston mayor and
I can't wrestle forever. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
And I'm sure as we speak now, there's somebody like on their thing going, hold on, boss, we're putting him right on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is. But
my final question. I spent some time in Houston, over 20 years ago now. One of my favorite things about Texas and Houston is Whataburger. Is Whataburger your go-to, or is there some other burger that you kind of get a craving for growing up in Cleveland? Maybe White Castle?
Listen, White Castle is life. You know what I mean? So White Castle is life. And I know people are like, oh, White Castle, shut the fuck up. If you ain't ever ate it, shut up. You know what I'm saying? But for me, Like, and I try not to, right? Because you try to be an athlete. But we have an In-N-Out burger here now where I'm at. So I've got to compare, right? What a burger whoops In-N-Out Burger's ass every single day and twice on Sunday. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it is not, it's okay, right? I'm not shitting on it. It's not terrible, but it's a good burger. But that's it. And there's no real variety to it. Like, oh, you added another patty? Cool. You added this sauce? Cool.
It's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you got? You're like, oh, that's all you do? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Solid. But with all the varieties of burgers that from the Monterey melt to the patty melt, you know what I mean? All the stuff they got, bro. Come on, kid. It's not close. It's not close.
My favorite thing about it was I was with my buddy who we ordered. It's our first time trying it. You peel off the wrapper. He takes a bite. He looks, he's chewing, and he just goes, "What a burger."
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, yes, that's it. It is.
You feel it. You know what I'm saying? You feel it.
Yeah.
100%.
Shane, listen, I'm excited to watch the match this weekend with you going against Roosh for this Ring of Honor World Championship title. I'm going to be pulling for you, man. The shirt, I have to wait to order. I saw the new shirt you got up. I'm gonna wait because you're gonna have the other belt in your hand so I can buy that addition to that shirt. And this is big for you, man. I'm proud for you. I really am. I'm rooting for you. Even if it don't turn out, you still my guy, man. I've been rocking with you for a minute, and I just thank you, man, for what you're doing for the business. I thank you for coming on our podcast as well, man. And I wish you all the best, and I just appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much for that, man. That means the world. And man, we'll just have to make it 2 shirts. You know what I'm saying? I got designs going. You know what I'm saying? You got to have them ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So we getting things moving. You know what I mean? Things will fall where they may, but I have no intention on not walking out of there as Ring of Honor World Champion. I have no intention of not slaying that bull. You know what I mean? He's had a great run as champion. I mean, you can call it great, I guess. You know what I mean? But
right.
I mean, for me, bro, it's just like the Ring of Honor World Champion, right? Has always been the baddest dude in ROH. The dude who goes out there, stands on his own 2, throws them hands, and we'll see what happens. No other BS, no help, just mano a mano, just like we do in the street. Like, what's good? He ain't really doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? There's a disconnect. Like, you got the belt, but I don't know if you're the man. You know what I'm saying? So going forward and going into this match, we're going to find out how bad he wants to wear the crown.
Yep. Well, that's a perfect place to end. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. Thank you again, Shane. It's so wonderful to get a chance to just sit back and talk with you. And again, we appreciate it because we know that you're busy right now, being a dad, and taking that time really means a lot. Also, please, anyone watching or listening, I beg of you, if you can't find ROH on your local TV, it's on Sinclair broadcasting stations, okay? If you can't find it on your TV, please go to Fight TV and watch the show through Fight, because it's available. We just, want people to know that there's somewhere to go and watch it, because guys like Shane are, and like DJ said, what they're doing with their television right now, ROH is by far the best wrestling product out there.
Thank you, boys. And that's FITE. The app is free. We do the ROH watch parties every Monday. You know what I mean? So if you can't see it live, can't see it on TV when it airs, watch it with all of us on Mondays. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, so that's like 5 Central, or maybe it's 6 p.m. Central and 7 Eastern, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just watch along with us then. It's free on the app. You know what I mean? And you can't beat free.
Not at all.
All right. Well, thank you, Shane, once again. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time.